Welcome to the 2-minute warning interview series, where we take a deep, if rapid, dive into key issues of the energy transition in the Middle East and beyond. My name is 𝗤𝗂𝗿𝗂𝗃, and I'm the director of the Energy Transition Dialogues, and I'm delighted to have Pascal 𝗘𝗿𝗿𝗰𝗂𝗃 with me today. He is the Chief Sustainability Officer at the 𝗘𝗶𝗿𝗃 Group. Hi, Pascal.
Hi, Michelle. Very nice to be with you.
Thank you for joining us. Let's just start with some broad strokes. So the chemical industry's role in contributing to the production of all goods and services is vital and perhaps often underappreciated. It's integral across many industries, from health, hygiene, construction, mobility, agriculture, energy supply, and so many more. From your point of view, with a market that's got such a deep-rooted role in so many parts of the way we live, what do you think needs to be prioritized from a sustainability point of view? Because there must be so many areas.
Thank you, Michelle, for this question. Yeah, as you mentioned, the chemical industry is often mentioned as the mother of all the industries, right? Serving a lot of different value chains, and you mentioned some of them, right? And we often say that the chemical industry is part of the problems and also part of the solutions. Okay, we have our own impact and emissions, and through our product and our offer, we provide solutions for the ecological transition. Okay, so looking at what we have been doing at 𝗘𝗶𝗿, we have developed an holistic plan. You know, we are not focusing only on one element, but we have a holistic view through a plan which is called the 𝗘𝗶𝗿 One Planet, which is looking basically at the climate issues, the resources issue, and also the people through a better life pillar, right? So we set up 10 ambitious goals until 2030. Some of the target relates to the solutions, which means we want to bring more solutions to help our customers to reduce the climate emissions or to limit the use of non-regenerative resources, for example. But we have other list of questions and targets related to reducing our impact, reducing our emissions. And as such,
and your carbon footprint, essentially.
Yeah, carbon footprint. And so for the carbon footprint, we have aligned our ambition with the Paris Agreement, right? The target of 26% reduction of emissions in scope 1 and 2 by 2030, right? And we have, after this goal, we have committed also to science-based target, you know, for a well below 2 degrees target. So we are currently in the process to set up these targets. And just to give you a snapshot of what it means for us, since we have initiated that plan, we have issued about 28 different concrete projects related to greenhouse gas emission reduction, right? From photovoltaic new farms, wind farms, or also biomass facilities in order to switch from coal until renewable materials. So we have developed 28 projects with a quantity of potential of reduction of about 2 million tons of CO2 per year. That's the potential when all the projects will come on stream, right?
And when do you think that potential will be reached via those 28 projects? What is the timeline for that?
We currently have a pace of 4% per year of reduction, so better than our commitment, right? In 2019 and 2020, we have 4% each. And this is on top of, let's say, the impact of the COVID crisis. You know, it's the structural reduction because we do not want to count twice, so the reduction of activity. So we are going faster. We have 19 out of the 28 projects already on stream, and the full operation will be about 2023 from these projects.
The 28 projects will be fully online by 2023, removing 2 million tons of CO2 That's the goal by 2023.
That's about the project. Yes, actually. And we have implemented.
There's something else I wanted to talk to you about as well, the circular economy, which I suspect feeds into these different projects as well, because your recent report said that 5% of your sales were based on circular raw materials or energy. And perhaps to an outsider, 5% doesn't sound very much, but actually in industry, that's a strong figure. And for an idea that obviously has been around for a long time, but it's only very recently being utilized, especially in energy supply chains and energy markets. So that 5% is significant. And there are obviously the huge benefits about creating a circular economy. For 5 of the key sectors could cut emissions by 3.7 billion tons by 2050, which is equivalent to eliminating current emissions from all forms of transport. Just to imagine that every form of transport on the planet no longer emits. It's an astonishing rate of opportunity if it can be harnessed correctly. That 5% of sales from your last report, what are you hoping that will be by 2025, 2030? What is your projection when it comes to the circular potential?
Well, circular economy is really part of our Solvay One Planet plan, right? And the goal we have is to more than double the turnover that we are doing through circular economy. We believe strongly in the fact that circular economy is about disconnecting, the economical growth from the use of non-regenerative material, right? Either through recycling or through the use of biosourced material, right? So we believe there are 3 top actions that needs to be done in order to move ahead in circular economy. The first one is really about education and awareness. We need people to think in terms of regenerative material and eco-design, right? The second element is to understand that circular economy is not only about waste management, right? It's about partnering for new ecosystem. The third element is about alliances and partnerships. Nobody can do on its own the whole circular economy. We need to partners, which is essential for success. And we have this fantastic example at Solvay. When we partner, we create an alliances with Renault, the car makers, and the utilities on the batteries recycling, where each of the 3 companies bring their own part in the alliances, and where Solvay, as a chemical company, enables the loop to be really closed, because we are bringing technology to extract from the battery recycling the precious metal, extract and then be able to recycle the precious metal, lithium, cobalt, and nickel, right? So that's really an example why circular economy and chemistry within circular economy is so important.
And I mean, indeed, it pays off for everybody as well. Overall, it's a $4.5 trillion economic opportunity created by avoiding waste, being more efficient. So you're ticking those balance sheet boxes as well as ticking those environmental boxes if the concept of a circular economy is truly embraced. But it's not always a simple journey, is it? As we're seeing a truly circular economy, truly making whole supply chains adhere to a circular economy, it is tricky for many supply chains. It's a very hard job, as we're seeing with talks about Scope 3 as well, incredibly complex conversations. How do you see a way around that? How confident are you that these conversations can be simplified and resolved in the next few years?
You're right that this is really a change of paradigm. So we need to partner and also to have a dialogue with policymakers, right? It's not only a corporation, it's also about bringing infrastructure in order to make it happen. But we have to, if we take the examples, another example of vanilla, where we have been used to develop, let's say, vanilla from synthetic use. Now we can bring a new vanilla flavor while using rice husk, so transforming a waste, which is the waste from the rice production, into into the flavor, the molecule which gives the flavor for vanilla, right? So transforming a waste into really a valuable product. So we need you know, to transform the way we think in terms of product development and partners in the different value chain. This will take a little bit of time.
And it is that cultural change, isn't it? Because it's so even you know, our engagement with people when they talk about the circular economy, it seems to be very much on the upper level of what that means. When you start going down into the depths a little bit more, when you're talking about, okay, there's, you know, we're reusing this waste material, great. Some might argue that's a linear recycle rather than a circular economy, because the next stage would be, okay, we're reusing that waste material, which of course is fantastic and it's a huge step forward where we need to be going. But that company may not consider, okay, but in doing so, I've increased my water waste by 20%. So now I'm not using my, you know, I'm not utilizing water savings like I should be, because obviously we have a global upcoming crisis when it comes to fresh water availability and clean water availability as well. So that, I mean, that's a very basic example I've just given to do with water, or to do with the materials, whether they're being recycled, and when they are recycled, are those recycling processes, how green are those recycling processes as well. So it goes so far down the chain. You've spoken as well about how things are changing, but do you feel on a regional basis that some regions have a better grip of the depths of detail that are required when it comes to talking about a circular economy versus others? Are there any forerunners that you think are doing really well that other countries and other regions could look to?
Well, that's not so obvious to compare all the regions. I think there are many opportunities in all the regions. From a regulatory standpoint, it's rather clear that the European region is going, let's say, ahead of the other ones, you know, going through a request of, recycled content into the cars, for example, or all the plastic industry also, which is growing and which is in the law, which is coming in the law, you know. So European field is going fast, but you know, you have also a lot of very interesting initiatives in other regions. In North America, the number of platforms, you know, for waste management or secondary material management are existing also. So I don't think it's a privilege of Europe. You know, it's going also in other regions, right?
And what impact do you think putting a price on carbon, or you know, the carbon border adjustment mechanism, if that's introduced in Europe and perhaps even other countries, maybe we'll be lucky at Glasgow, let's see. But what impact do you think putting more pricing mechanisms out there? I think there are 64 pricing initiatives for carbon available at the moment, according to the World Bank, which is up from 2 in 1990. So again, it is heading in the right direction. It's just a matter of speed. Do you think that more and more carbon pricing initiatives will be, you know, a vital trigger to increase progress within the chemicals industry?
If we listen to the Ellen MacArthur Foundation, you know, studies, we think that 45% of the greenhouse gas, you know, let's say, impact that we need in order to go to carbon neutrality will come from circular, and we can understand that, because when we recycle, we don't use twice, let's say, the original energy or carbon contents that we need from the primary material. And also when we use biosourced material, provided it's done properly, of course respecting nature, but when we use the biosource, also again the carbon footprint of biosource is very much different from the mineral ones, right? So from this very simple explanation, we can understand that the circular economy can really contribute a lot into this climate equation. So the topics are connected between themselves.
Absolutely. And what would you hope the chemical industry will look like from an environmental point of view in the next couple of years? What, if you had a wish list, you could say whatever you wanted to happen, what would you hope would be achieved environmentally in the chemicals industry? What would be at the top of your list to focus on?
Well, you know, again, we need to realize that the chemical industry can bring a lot of solutions, you know, to the different industries, while at the same time cleaning its own footprints, right? So, of course, the dream would be that the global chemical industry commits into a carbon neutrality and natural zero impact. I would say that that's a kind of long-term vision. Now, if we want to go in that direction, and we need what we call the global playing field, you know, and you know,
a global what? Sorry, repeat that, please. A
global playing field, which means that, you know, as long as the different regions go at different speed in terms of regulatory requirements, it means a lot of investment, innovation. So there is a question of competitiveness and barriers, you know, because when there is a gap in terms of request from one region to another, then of course the barriers between the regions are getting stronger. So the global playing field in terms of carbon market, or in terms of alignment, in terms of norms and standards, in order to go to zero pollution, or let's say as limit, not harmful, let's say pollution, you know, needs to go everywhere, you know, as much as possible. That's the concept of global playing field. That's
and when you speak about those 28 projects, are you able to give us an example of one or two of them, what sort of projects those are?
Yes, sure. Among these 28 projects, one is, for example, a photovoltaic project that we have implemented in North America, in South Carolina. That's a big solar farm, which is about 80 megawatts of power, and which represent about 500 soccer fields, you know, in terms of surface.
Wow.
An image, right? It's among the top 10, you know, for North America, actually. Yeah? The number 2, I think, in South Carolina. So it's a big farm, you know, solar farm. In Europe, we have a very nice example of investment into biomass to substitute coal. You know, we were using coal for 150 years, so we decided to coal phase out. And in order to do that, we have implemented a biomass. It's in Rheinberg, it's in Germany, region where you know, the impact of such project will be in 2 phases, close to 400,000 tons of CO2 reduction per annum, right?
Wow.
In phases, right? So these are
significant
of very concrete and impactful project that we're implementing.
Excellent, Pascal. Thank you very much. I look forward to catching up next time, hearing about more of those projects and where they're at as well, and how close it is to that 2 million tons of CO2 being taken from the environment, from the atmosphere. Thank you very much for your time, and hope to see you again soon.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you, Pascal. Thank you.